Right now, something strange is happening. You're listening to my voice, but there's another voice, the one inside your head, the one reading this line with you. That's consciousness. It's invisible. It's nowhere, and yet it's everything. We've mapped every mountain. We've sent robots to Mars. But there's one frontier we still don't understand, the mind. More specifically, the conscious mind. It's the me that feels sadness when music plays. The you that remembers your first kiss. The sense of being that doesn't show up on an X-ray. Scientists call it consciousness, the experience of awareness. The feeling of being alive, knowing you're alive. But here's the thing, no one really knows where it comes from. Is it just neurons firing in the brain, or is it something deeper? René Descartes once said, "I think, therefore I am." But what if he was wrong? What if we're not the ones doing the thinking? What if we're just the ones watching it happen? If consciousness is more than just a byproduct of the brain, then we'll have to look beyond biology. We'll have to go quantum. Long before we had words for mind or consciousness, we had questions. A caveman sits beside the fire, staring at the flames. Is he thinking, dreaming, or simply aware that he exists? In ancient times, people believed the soul was in the breath. The Egyptians thought it lived in the heart. And for centuries, no one dared open the skull because inside it, they believed, was the seat of the gods. Then came the philosophers. Socrates asked, "Know thyself." Buddha taught that the self might be an illusion. And still we wondered, who or what is the one who wonders? Fast forward 2,000 years, we built microscopes, mapped the brain, fired up fMRIs and EEGs. We saw sparks, signals, synapses, patterns of electricity dancing in grey matter. But something was missing. We could see thoughts light up. We could track memory through neurons. But we still didn't know why it feels like something to be you. Why you can hear a song and feel nostalgia. Or remember your mother's voice just by closing your eyes. And now we've built machines, algorithms that learn, respond, even talk back. But ask them, do you know you exist? And they fall silent. We've come a long way, from firelight to fibre optic, from cave paintings to brain scans. But the truth is, for all our intelligence, we still don't know what makes us sentient, or whether a machine someday might be. To find out, we'll need to go deeper, into the quantum jungle beneath the brain, where matter and mystery meet. We've dissected the brain down to its smallest parts, mapped its folds, named its regions, traced its signals. We know which neuron fires when you smell coffee and what happens when you fall in love, feel fear, or remember a song. Science has given us tools, powerful ones, fMRIs that scan blood flow to regions of thought, electrodes that capture the storms inside our skulls. We've reduced behavior to brain chemistry. We've linked mood to molecules. And yet something's missing. Because even when we explain the mechanics, we still don't touch the experience. A machine can register heat, but can it feel warmth? We can trace the pain signal in a lab rat's spine. But what is pain without someone to suffer it? Reductionism, the idea that everything can be broken down to parts, has helped us understand the how. But it stumbles on the why. Why does a pattern of neurons firing create a sense of self? Why does electricity in the brain give rise to dreams, memories, or the ache of a heartbreak? Think of it like a symphony. You can analyze the notes, the instruments, the timing. But where is the music itself? Where does beauty live? That's the puzzle of consciousness. It's not just an output of the brain. It feels like something. It is something. And the closer we look, the more elusive it becomes. So maybe, just maybe, we've been looking in the wrong place, or not deep enough. What if the secret to the mind isn't in the neurons at all? What if it's in something far smaller and far stranger? The deeper we dig into the fabric of reality, the stranger it gets. At first, everything seems solid. A chair, a rock, your body. You're made of matter, right? But zoom in and everything begins to blur. Atoms, tiny particles spinning in space, each one mostly empty. What we call solid is just an illusion of closeness. What we call real is mostly nothing at all. And inside those atoms, particles even smaller, electrons, quarks, ghost-like things with no edges, no location until we look at them. This is the world of quantum physics, and it doesn't play by the rules we know. In the quantum realm, particles don't just exist, they possibility. A single particle can be in two places at once. It can spin left and right at the same time. It doesn't make sense, and yet it works. Physicists call it superposition, reality in limbo. Not this or that, but both. Until something or someone observes it, that's when the magic collapses. The wave becomes a point. The blur sharpens into a single choice. And suddenly a decision is made. But by what? When we look at a quantum system, we don't just measure it, we seem to change it. By watching, we interfere. By observing, we create. Does that mean the universe knows it's being watched? Or worse, does it mean it wasn't real until we looked? For decades, scientists argued. Was it the eye that caused the collapse, the instrument, or the conscious mind? Some laughed it off. Others quietly wondered. Because if consciousness plays a role in shaping reality, then the mind isn't just reacting to the world. It might be part of how the world forms. This isn't science fiction. It's quantum mechanics, the most accurate theory we've ever had. It powers your phone, your GPS, your computer. It works, but it makes no sense. And hidden inside its strangeness might be the first crack in the wall between physics and consciousness. Imagine this. A single particle, spinning, shimmering, undefined. It could go left, it could go right. It exists in all possible paths until you look at it. And in that instant the particle chooses. The wave collapses, reality locks in. Not before, not after, the moment you observe it. This is the heart of one of the strangest puzzles in physics. That's the observer effect. You're not just watching the universe, you're part of how it unfolds. It's as if reality needs you to press play. Think of it like this: a tree falling in a forest with no one around. Does it make a sound? Now go deeper. If no one is there to measure the particle, did it ever really exist in a definite state? According to quantum physics, the answer might be no. This idea shook the foundations of science. Was consciousness somehow entangled with the material world? Was reality unfinished without an observer? The great physicist John Wheeler once said, "The universe doesn't exist until it is observed." Could it be that our minds aren't just in the universe, but part of how it becomes real? Many physicists pushed back. They said, no, it's not the mind doing it. It's the measuring device, the interaction, the math. But others whispered quietly, what is observation if not a conscious act? What is measurement if not the moment something becomes known? And here's where things get unsettling. If your awareness helps shape a quantum event, then your consciousness might not be a side effect of the universe dome. It might be a co-creator, a participant, a mirror, maybe even a key. So what is it that gives the observer this power? Is it the brain, the soul, the field of awareness itself? We don't know. But if consciousness collapses the wave, then we have to ask, what was the universe doing before we arrived to see it? Was it there, waiting? Or did it begin the moment something opened its eyes? The sound of a ticking clock fades in, then melts into silence. And now we must ask the next question. If we shape reality by observing what happens when we observe ourselves? In the quantum world, distance is an illusion. Two particles, born together, touched once, linked forever, can drift to opposite ends of the universe and still act as one. This is not fantasy. It's entanglement. When one is measured, the other responds instantly. Faster than light, faster than time. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. He didn't like it. He didn't believe the universe could be so strange. But experiment after experiment has proven it. Connection exists beyond space, beyond reason. Now imagine this. If matter can be entangled, what about minds? What if thought, emotion, awareness itself isn't locked inside our skulls? What if we're all just tuning forks in the same field, resonating, responding, entangled without knowing? Have you ever thought of someone, and they called seconds later, felt another's pain across oceans, dreamed something before it happened? Science shrugs these off as coincidence. But quantum theory invites a different lens. What if we are not as separate as we think? What if consciousness is not local but non-local? Not sealed in the brain but stretching, reaching, touching across invisible threads? Some scientists now wonder, could human minds be quantum systems too? Delicate, very subtle, entangled. Not like hard drives processing information, but like waveforms dancing together in a sea of probability. And if that's true, then every thought might ripple out. Every feeling might echo in the field. Every self might be a note in one infinite song. You're not just a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean, in a single fleeting drop. So is entanglement just a physical trick of particles? Or is it the first clue that mind and matter are threads in the same great tapestry? Maybe the separation is the illusion. Maybe we've never been alone. A low hum rises, like wind over wires, like something ancient vibrating just beneath perception. And next we follow that vibration into the unknown, into theories wild enough to terrify physicists and bold enough to change everything. Are we dreaming the universe into being?